This is Divine Sunshine coming to you with a live reading of the full moon. As I had promised, I figured I was not going live, but I see that I am going live, fresh from a nap. And the electricity going off in the house had to wake me up. I was astral traveling, I guess to say, come back, come back. So this is some good stuff that's happening with this full moon. We know with this full moon in Sagittarius, I've watched so many videos that I feel like I have been kind of almost on overload and still in my mind. Some things resonated, some things I didn't, which is great. That I don't know, here lately, the mind has not been kind of absorbing the information like it should be as well. But that's kind of like, that brain fog, some of that when you're sending and doing, hey, me. Yeah, well, you made it. Yes, I'm glad. Maybe YouTube is giving the notification. I see they're doing a little better after I've talked kind of bad about them. So somebody must be listening now to the thing to say the people not getting their notification, this and that. So I don't want to start off with Debbie Downer on that one. It's cold. Excuse me. It's cold down here. We got the air conditioner on, so I got this sweater on. For those of you all that's in warm climates. But let's deep dive right on into it. Some great things about what this energy is bringing about, as far as when we're talking about the Sagittarius energy. I told you Sagittarius energies does have with it is a out of, this is another sign to me that has that conflict. When we're talking about it, we're talking about that it's got two parts. You got one of them's got the archer, the other part is horse. Horse to me is freedom, that kind of keeps them earthbound, very grounded, but at the same time, they want to shoot for the stars because they got that arrow there, that archerness too. I don't know what the top part is, that what type of animal, creature, or god or mythical god-like creature that's called. But those are the two things that we have there. So you've got this kind of like, I want to be grounded, I want to be free and taken off feeling that I feel with the horse. But at the same time, it's like I got to be steady and knowing. Sagittarius is a very optimistic sign. By fault, no matter what's going on, they still know how to be able to be grounded and say, still see the silver lining in it all. Hey, Yaki. Hey, Bass. How's it going? I forgot yesterday I seen you gave a shout out at the end. Thank you that I do inspire you. And I was like, oh my God, it's off. And I just happened to see your comment. So thank you so very much for that lovely comment that you sent on yesterday. And so they're known for that too as well. I'm trying to think about some other things. Hold on a second. I used to have a chart on Sagittarius. I'm going by what I know personally when I'm dealing with them. I know that they are very idealistic too. They really are about the morals and ethical things like that. Because if stuff ain't ethically right with that, they will. It's curtains on that one. That I do know. Some things about them is, again, Sagittarius are direct, enthusiastic, far-seeing, friendly, gregarious, honest, humorous, idealistic, loyal, outspoken, philosophical, restless, talkative, a traveler. Their shadow here is that they're exaggerating, irresponsible, tactless. Now that's the shadow aspect of the Sagittarius, and that's the shadow aspect of the moon, because what it seems like to me is I see a drive of irresponsibility too that can be seen in these cards when I get into them, as far as how it is about how we go about doing these things. And that exaggeration, there's a sense of exaggeration of things that's going on emotionally, because this is a very powerful one that's going to come in there and clean house, according to what I'm seeing in the cards too, and what I've seen in other people's readings. So this exaggeration that it brings in is like it's going to make everything very hyper focused, very hyper intensive. This is what they're saying. And then tactless, got to watch it, because you don't want that shadow aspect of the Sagittariusness doing things without tact. It's just like I'm just haphazardly doing. That's why I'm kind of getting drawn every time when I see the Sagittarius sign while I'm talking to you. I'm getting drawn to the legs of it, the horse, like it really wants to take off like a wild stallion, just like I'm just going all over the place. It doesn't matter. And so this is what we got to watch, that shadow aspect. So I know it's the other things that I'm not going to profess. I know other stuff. I know there's also playing a part, the Gemini and every other things that I'm talking about. So we're just going to concentrate on the Sagittarius aspect of it. Now, when we're talking about this here, the three things came about what this energies is going to bring about in this moon. And I asked the moonology cards here. The first aspect here we're talking about is a personal issue reaches resolution. That's what I'm talking about, that to watch it, about the way in which we see this situation that's going on, something that's going to be brought up to the forefront, because they brought it to me and talking about like the other day, like a sewer system, and it's bringing it all up, all these issues there. And so whatever it is that it is, if we stay the course, again, about that, like they say, that steady love is going to be able to bring about this answer, this closure that we need about this personal issue. So whatever that it is that we need, it's going to do that. It says also it's going to have the answers you need are coming. That's interesting. When I did my little meme about, or inspirational notes that I had for you all, I said that again, that the answers, be patient, it's coming, it's on its way. This is something in which that is some things that we had looked at and say full moon in Gemini. There go to Gemini again. That aspect of understanding that Gemini, to me, it would be the twins, because again, we think about Gemini, the Gemini twins, and the things about us as far as this twin energy, what the divine masculine energies, divine feminine energies coming together, or whether it is manifestation into the world, or the 3D aspect of it happening, the twins coming together too, as well. I got confirmation through my phone. It says that too. Those answers are coming that you seek and what you need in order to help you understand about what you're going to be doing for this journey. This also says that here comes this shadow aspect about the Sagittarius here, which is your dreams need a practical plan. That goes back to, let's watch the shadow aspect of what this full moon brings in Sagittarius, because the shadow aspect of it, according to what I just read here for the Sagittarius, is exaggerating, blowing things out of proportion, maybe even telling yourself, I can do it if I do this, this, and this. And you're like, you know what, if I sit back and I really look at myself and say, you know what, you're taking on too much. That's another way. Or over exaggerating that you can't do it. You can't go about having this. And that's another way. You got to watch that exaggeration. So you got to really, the word of the day is steady. Again, going back to my other readings that I had about the divine feminine energies, again, and for the divine masculine energies, be hungry like that wolf energy that's still going on here for the divine masculine energies. That means in our leadership, really want it, but remember, but then all things, be practical. So it's okay, be steady, be hungry for it, but be practical. Let's not let the exaggerations of things and the illusions out there get the best of us, and don't get to the point that, again, that is being letting things being over exaggerated here and being irresponsible, which to me is that, like I said, that horse wanted to take off, want that freedom so bad. It's like, yes, and then you going ahead and you going taking off for that. Watch that. You got to grind. You're going to find yourself, that's showing me reins, grabbing the reins, holding the reins to yourself to make sure that you've got control over it, that you don't want the horse to take over you. It remind me of a time when I was in learning. I think I was young, like teenage years, and I remember, I think I told this story about that, about the horse that I was on, and they were saying when I got him, that was my first time being on a horse. His name was Twin, out of all things, not knowing. That's back then, teenage years, and now, and that sucker took off. Took me all through the daggone trees. The tree limbs was hitting me on my head. He looked like he went all over the place. And they was like, oh my God, this is not like Twin's personality. He has never done this before. He's always been very well-mannered. And I was like, well, I don't know what's happening with him today, but today he off the chart. He's been lost his ever beloved horse mind today. So he was dragging me everywhere. And so that's the way I feel like, again, we've got to watch that. Like maybe you might be very mild mannered, but something about these moon energies that might come along might take over. And so you've got to grab the reins and get control over it. Okay. They're saying also with us that we had, this is our soul journey. Our lesson now is to learn empathy. Let me bring it to you close. I think it's this way. Is this way? You can see it better. Okay, thank you. So I know which way. Is to have empathy. Hey, Charm. Right, is to have empathy. Okay, so I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. This to me, when they're saying about empathy, again, is I think that came out in the cards the other day, talking about having an open mindedness, especially in the divine masculine energies. So in the divine masculine energies, it's open mindedness about how these expectations. That's why I'm telling you again, do not link yourself into a specific way of how things are going to happen or specific expectations. Just be open and go with the flow. Empathy also means to understand what's going on. Let's just talk real talk right now. So real talk would be about, in this midst of this going on and wanting your divine counterpart, let's be empathetic about the situation that they're in so that they can be able to be sympathetic about the situation that you're in. So let's say, for instance, I'll use mine as an example, but I'll leave some pieces out for anonymity and for privacy of the parties that's involved. So, okay, one part of it, if I look at my divine masculine energies, would be that he is very workaholic to the job. Okay, so now that's one issue that he has that causes for him not to have as much time for me as he should. I would look at me, I'm very heavily invested in my mom and getting her together, about her health, everything like that. So I'm heavily invested into that. Him on the inside, sometimes he has time. When he has time, I don't have time, because either I'm doing things with mom, I'm doing things like that. Vice versa. When I have time, he don't have time. And then we both have to find that time where we are empathetic to each other. Like, okay, all right, when I call or whatever, he's like, I'm in a meeting, I'm on a conference call. Okay, all right, then I fall back. I don't get an attitude like, okay, is he really having a conference call, or he just don't want to speak to me today? I have to learn how to be empathetic to understand that hey, because I want, from times when it's something that I have to do with mom and he's available, I want them to have that empathy and show that empathy as well, vice versa. This is what I'm saying about the situations that they're in. We can't get into all our feels about different things, because again, certain things about our divine masculine energies, when they look at this, at us, they're seeing some limitations. They're seeing some lack, some things that, hey, I don't seem like I can get in where I can fit in on their end. And so we have to be empathetic about each other. I think a lot of times we say that the divine feminine feels as if she's being more empathetic to the divine masculine is not. But again, like I said, we're taking the role or the leadership thing and understanding that the way we show that is a way in which they'll take the lead and they'll follow in as well. We don't know what is going on with our counterparts, whether the divine feminine, divine masculine energies. We cannot. Spirit had brought to me, and I did not come on here and do this, and it's bringing to me again very quickly if I can, which is, again, we have to remember that our counterparts are loving us under duress, which means they're loving us under duress, and they're not loving us underneath the best possibilities that they can, because of the situations that they are in. So we cannot put their feet to the fire or hold them, like some people say, I'll charge you to your head, not to your heart, about what's going on with them, and thinking that's the whole totality of the way in which they will love us. They're loving underneath stress. They're loving us underneath pressure. They're loving us under duress. So we cannot really say, oh, this is the real whole way. If I get with you, this is how it's going to always be. We are always looking at them as if the temporary situation is going to be the permanent outcome of how it's going to be when we're with them. So to me, that would be another lesson I would just throw out there to you all to understand about empathy, about the situation, about your counterpart, and trying to be with them or being with them, that we have to understand and kind of sometimes look at the things that they're going through, but not giving them just look at the things. I'm not even going to do that. Take that out. Look at the things in which they're going through and understanding the circumstances that they are under. Okay. And that's not the best version of them that they're presenting. Spirit brought that to me. So you have to remember that that's not the best version of themselves. Like David says for soul mission, they're in their distortion. So they're either loving, learning, trying to love you through all those things. And we can't say in totality that that's them. Some of them unawakened, they're not healed, they have been dealing with some childhood wounds, they're going through all of those different things there. And we have to practice empathy on both sides. And when they're looking at them, we would want them to also do the same thing when they're looking at us. We can't be saying we around here flawless like Beyonce. There's some issues that's going on with us as well. Okay, so that's what empathy on both sides. Also having empathy for the situations or the things that we want to open in which for us to be able to get. So maybe that's that job. Maybe, he's like, I really want to apply for some job like that. And they're saying they don't have no openings at this time. Well, you have to be empathetic to that to understand, hey, well, we are coming stressed from COVID, or maybe that job saying we might have to downsize, bring down the money. We're not able to give you as much it's possible. That's another thing. Sometimes situations you got to find empathy in. And so understanding that we've got to, especially being divine, we have to be more in the position to see ourselves, putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes. And it's not always about the me and me. That's an interesting thing that when I was working with this lady for me coaching for my brand, that's the same thing she was saying. You want to make sure that you're not putting out there a thing of it's just me and it's my thing. You want to make sure that it's a we and it's a community thing. And that's something that I would say about in every situation, whether it's a relationship, dealing with people, maybe you got that hard family member that's not acting right. Maybe put yourself in them shoes and try to see why you acting such an ass, excuse me. Well, I'm just saying like asshole, why you acting such like a bee, not so nice. Because maybe you have to look at it and kind of see, okay, well, your husband did leave. And maybe that would cause you to be so cold hearted about things like that. And why when I'm trying to reach you, it's kind of hard when I'm trying to get to you on another level, a heart-to-heart conversation, it's not there. Well, that person has been through some heartache. So it's kind of hard for them to open up their heart to be able for you to reach them from that. And so they've had some abandonment issues, some people leaving them. And so this is where they're coming from. And this is why they got this stoic kind of like attitude every time when you come into them. It's like it's a hard code. No, because they've been hurt. Okay, I could put myself in your shoes and see where you're coming from. Why are you acting this way? From this, I'm picking to somebody's like mother-in-law, grandmother, something like that. And they have this thing. Well, you got to check and look at their history and see why they're acting that way. Because sometimes people don't be acting nasty, just be nasty. Most of the time, it's a history. It's a running ticker tape as to what got them to that point, to why they're acting. I see a light. Thank you. Why they are acting that way. And that's something that the spirit wants us as being divine. That's what they're empathetic, that empathy, being able to feel about something. It's not just always it's happening to us, but we can be able to use that so we can be empathetic to others. Okay, moving on. I'm on my thing, my soapbox, if you want to say it, but I think that needs to be clarified too. Again, I think with us as twin flames, a little bit we're a little less on the openness, and we're open when we want it to be, but we're not open when we should be as divines. That's just something that I have observed and seen working with clients too over the years. So when we talk about the divine feminine energies and this moon, how is it going to affect us? So the things that they're saying, I asked, what cards are these? These are the light seers here. So for the moon thing, this here, it says for the divine feminine energies, so how it's going to affect us is it's got to wait on divine timing. This is my divine timing card here. Okay, this means that we've got to wait in for, so you got to wait on the Lord. Well, that's true. Or you got to wait on source. You got to wait for anything other than yourself to get to moving here. However, you still have got to do, it goes back to the other thing. You still have got to do the work. Okay. The work I told you the other day that I seen not the, well, when I seen last, not too many people viewed that because we don't want to hear about, oh, it's some more work that we have to be put in. But this is what we have to do for us to be able to have this balance and for us to be able to have this drive. Okay. And so this is what we are doing here as well. we have to have this balance both here for the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies as twins. Okay, myself still looking crazy at some actions being taken. Well, that's good, right? Okay, good. Yes, Mimi. And so yeah, we gotta wait on divine timing. How we doing for timing? Good. Okay. The next thing is Ten of Pentacles, wanting this understanding, this coming together. In the community is a family coming together. We got this here, Ten of Pentacles. This here is all ending the cycles, wanting to be able to start again and have this new beginning, because we got this child here. So this is a new beginning here. Also understanding that we have here with the dog here, which is the thing of whenever time a dog is there, we're talking about your laugh, loyalty, authority, and being a friend. Those things are at play here. And this is how it is in your divine feminine energies and your divine masculine. What are you loyal to? What are you in your leadership about? And what is it that again you are being again friendly, how you interacting and have these connections with others as well. This is what we talk about in the world. Pentacles is, to me, is in the world. Okay, so again, 21, the world. So the world card, understanding that at the center of it all in our spirituality, we are bringing our world to us. We are the center of our universe. And like I said before, we are co-creators of our universe. And that means we are working together in order to make everything happen and these endings of these cycles, because that's what they're saying again, to get the answers. So to me, that means there's an ending of cycles as well. The next thing is for our feminine energies, they want us to really to get into as far as our divinity is. I'm not going to tear this up, but whatever it is, it's called the Diamond Hearted Dakini, which is I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. And I keep on, and I know it seems like I'm being hard on the divine feminine energies, especially housed in the females, because again, we have gotten to the point that again, that it seems like we have put the onus, and that's about on the divine masculine energies in the male. Okay, and so we have to go ahead and take that power back, take ownership about what the stuff that we are doing, what we are adding on to this union or into this connection. So this means we've got to take a deep dive into the darkness. So step into the dark side, woo, 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 like they came from, what's that, Cadillac, whatever it was. So we've got to step into our darkness and really look into that shadow work while we're doing this eclipse. It's asking us so we can face our ego beliefs to feel free, because that ego, again, will tell us lies. It will feed into those illusions. It will feed into those things that will no longer serve us, that we need to let go, because that ego, I feel like, it's doing like this. It's standing in front and saying, no, you can't pass. I'm protecting you. And then I told you all before in some other videos that again, you got to talk to that to that ego and tell that ego that, okay, thank you. You've done a very nice job of protecting me until this point now, but I am going to take over. I will use you on an as needed basis. I will use you when there's times in which it is needed, like with, things that I might not need, I might not know about, or those things like that. We will kind of use that and temper that. We need to temper those energies when it comes to the ego, because the ego, again, can flare up your instinct, which will flare up your trauma. And then after a while, when you flare up your trauma, then you delving into drama. And then you can, once you get into that dramatic or that drama stuff, you can't really tell the difference. And that is one thing Spirit had brought to me about the divine feminine energies. Say the divine masculine energies, when we always talking about the addictions of the two, the addictions for the divine masculine energies is more so of the stuff of the tangible, of the material things. When it comes to the addictions of the divine feminine things, it's more of the kind of ego base of things like drama. Some of us are addicted in the divine feminine energies to the drama of things, the effect of it, the trauma of it, because there's a secondary gain. If you take this trauma away, if you take this ego away, where do I stand? Who am I? So that is something that we have to get a hold of in order for us to be able to have that freedom. Okay. The next thing is Our Lady of Guadalupe. I am safe and divinely protected. What's about to say pregnant? Um, Moving on, I am safe and divinely protected. I'm held in love at all times. Well, I can see why I said that word, they zipped that word into me, because a lot of times when you are pregnant with opportunities or with an actual baby, you are very protective of that dream. Okay. You are protective of that thing because you very much so, you protect them. People come on, touch you, so I say, oh, you're so cute. How many months? I said, hold on, sister. Don't touch my stomach. Thank you. You got the ass. A lot of times they kind of attracted to the stomach, want to touch and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, thank you. You stand right on over there. First of all, I'm empathic. I don't want my child. I don't know my child picking up what you doing and your vibration. So, don't go through my energy field trying to touch my stomach. Thank you. And so then, those things like that. So you're very protective of your this new opportunity, this new beginning. They showing me like the Empress card there. And so we have to understand that that's the way the universe, and they're telling me this is the way source sees you. You are precious to them. You are very precious. That's why you're divine, because you are especially designed for moments like this, because there's something that specifically in this world you came here tailor made to do, and only you can do. And you have to understand at all times you are protected. That came out in the playground experience. If you didn't see that, when we talk about that imposter syndrome and how, some of us might start asking ourselves about even doing things like work that I'm doing, like, hey, I don't have no background with this, all I just know I'm gifted in this, and you going in there, you feel like you've just been thrown into this arena or this world of twin flames, and you saying, I know it's something that I've got to contribute to the world. And so they're understanding that no matter, some of us are going to be pushed a little bit, not a little bit, they say a lot. Say stop lying. Well, that's true. I'm just trying not to scare them. That you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone. Some of it is time for you to kind of like let people kind of know who you are, more beyond than just the community. You got to stand in your divinity. Yes, I'm unique. Yes, I'm different. And I'm unapologetic about it. And we've got to kind of get to that point. Some of us are still kind of like, again, in the little box, and we're not going beyond that. And that's something that we have to understand. Is to understand I'm held in love at all times. That source is loving you. Picture yourself at all times surrounded by a golden light. At times, maybe some of us need to learn how to be able to be protected at all times, because maybe that's another reason why you don't do it. Because I know I worked with a client before, and she's like, when I do it, I feel like I hear more voices, more things are coming after me, things, yada, yada, yada. So again, make sure that at all times when you're doing things, just like I do, it's the intentionality of everything. Like James Van Prague said, and I've always said that if you're saying I'm protected by the golden light, then that's it. And that's all that you need there. Because again, the intention is that I'm protected by the divine. I'm protected by source. Okay. When we're talking about the divine masculine, I'm sorry. And then here we have, here's your affirmations. Let me run through it because I don't want to be here all day on this one. The affirmations are, oh, okay. I was urged to get a new deck for shadow work this week, and I'm excited to use it. Yes, yes, yes. Work on the shadow, and we need that. And you remind me on that. That's a very good thing. And maybe I need to also add that into my repertoire. I don't think I got too much of this. Yeah, I got them crazy, them cards I had said for the karmic cards. I usually don't mix that energy with anything else there, but that is, those karmic cards are shadowed too as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Baz. I will look at that. Some things for the divine feminine. Here's some affirmations for you. Yours is Huntress. Okay, I know what I want, and I am no longer afraid to get it. These are some affirmations. So maybe you might want to write them down and come back and visit this again right here at 2928. I have the ability to change my mood by the thoughts I am choosing to think. I focus on things that bring me joy and on not on things that rob me of my peace. That goes back to that exaggeration. I told you about the illusions being able to fall for the okie doke that's out there. So this is definitely a affirmation you want to keep on when you have those moments and things look like you're getting overwhelmed, especially this is being emotional times when you talk about moons things. This is something that you want to really actually put a pin in and say that to those times. Okay. Next thing, I accept that everything happens for a reason, even if I do not like or understand the outcome. That would be something that again that you would speak to the exaggeration that the Sagittarius shadow brings in to as well. And then crystal clear. I trust my intuition. Crystal clear. I would say those of you all that like to do crystal work, get you a crystal, a clear quartz crystal to work with to remind you as a symbolism that I am clear no matter what's happening around me. Carry it in your pocket, carry it around your neck, something like that. I'm being guided to tell you all that to remind you about that home, the energy, anything that you have crystal, at least it does. We know that, not at least, I know where that came from. It intensifies that, it makes amplifies it more, that energy. So you want to make sure that again that you carry that and remember to have that as a reminder to you that I am crystal clear at all times, no matter what the illusions might see or appear in front of me, that it is still crystal clear as to what its purpose is, what its intention is, and what a blessing that it is that it has appeared. Okay. For the divine masculine energies, okay, the divine masculine energies here, it says this came in reverse. And I asked, I said, what's happening with these reversals? This means really is emphasized for this moon. The divine masculine energies is going to find themselves feeling like they're going to have to walk away. The Eight of Cups. Now, for me, you know what it is. This Eight of Cups means, and when I look at this, gives me the appearance of which once upon a time, it's got fire there. There's some action, but this, to me, this fire represents is the divine, a fire and a desire that the divine masculine energies had wanted at once upon a time, because this is in the back. So that means that's the past. Anything that's in the back is the past. So this is something emotionally that they feel very passionate about, but they know emotionally they are going to have to walk away because this is a feminine here. Okay, so it has a sun here, which means there is a new horizons coming, and they are getting pushed very much so with this energies here, which we see there, because it's always saying it's an answer. There's a resolution in this energy that's coming up for us for this full moon. And then again, we got to be practical. Our dreams, but we can have them, but we got to be practical about it. What does it mean being practical? So let's say, for instance, that this person is in, there might be a third party situation. Okay, if this person has a third party in a situation, I mean, person, place, a thing involved, let's say that job, maybe the divine masculine got to get to the point of saying, hey, I got to loosen up my schedule here. It's not going to work. Or I might be in my divine masculine energies looking and saying, hey, I got to free up this stuff with mom stuff, because in the end, all our relationship is going to suffer. So this is what I'm going to have to find myself doing in my divine masculine energies, just like him and his divine masculine energy with the work. If we want this to work, we've got to make time, because otherwise that our love and our relationship and our passion for one another is going to die. It's going to suffer in the process. That would be a way of looking at it, that's saying from the divine masculine energies, I'm a female, he's a male. There ain't no question about that, about what I got, my pieces of body here. But in my divine masculine energies, how I move about in my leadership will be the role of how I am in the family dynamic here where I am, and his leadership would be him on the job there. That is where we got to, in our divine masculine, I have to give it to you as an example. So you understand that the divine masculine energies don't just belong to him, it belongs to me as well. So in that, there's emotionally that passion that I have about this family, and I want to make sure that I'm here for family members and that stuff. I'm going to have to eventually find a way that I'm going to have to walk away from it. Now, that don't mean the family of saying, oh, deuces, ma, you fend out, or whoever, fend for yourself. But there's going to have to be a release from it. There's going to have to be some distance. This is a distance from that passion. Okay, that's got to be created as in my divine masculine energies in order for this union to work. Okay, that's an example what I'm saying about that. The divine masculine energies here, they say they want them to get more zeal about it. Zeal is enthusiasm. I always remember that in my church, they always remind us of saying about zeal. That zeal, you got to watch it, because that zeal can eat you up. You can get too over exaggerated. That goes to that hungry like a wolf example I told you, where it's like, yeah, I want it. I'm going to find a way to make this happen. I'm cutting strings off. I'm doing me. I know I got to walk away. But at the same time, what did they tell us? That this moon is bringing us a practicality. That's that Saturn influence that's happening. I think that's that Saturn and Pluto influence that's going on here, that we're happening here, which Saturn is that dad that's like, this is how we're going to do it. That 50s dad. I always remember that. This is how we're going to do it. This is how it's going to be. There's no ifs, ands, and buts to it. And we're not deviating from the plan. Okay. That is what it is. It's practical. Okay. Most of those 50 dads were very practical in their thing. They done thought it out. That's it. And 50s dad, less on the emotion. Those type of dads wasn't very emotional, showing you. You got the pat on your head. Good job, son. Good job, daughter. Daughter might get a little bit more emotions. The masculine, the son didn't. So this is what we're talking about as far as that. Is less on the emotional attachment of the expectations. Think about that 50s dad. This is what we're going to do. This is our goal. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. Very linear as to how we're going to get that going. So that's the same thing with that Saturn influence here about that zeal. Watch it. Let's not be kind of thinking out. I'm getting a fork in the road. Watch how you do it. You can do the thinking out of the box, but make sure that you temper. They keep on saying about this. Temper it with a practical way. But again, you can use that Aquariusness, because Aquarius is in this too. These energies too as well. I forgot what it is or who's it ruling. But that again, they help you to think of, but because Aquariusness is brought to you because it wants you to think about a different way of how to get out the situation. Because some of us have been using the same strategies, the same tactics in order to get out of the situation, and that's not the way we're going to be able to find a resolution this time. It's going to be something out of the box, but it's going to be practical and not that so way out there thing. Okay. Rivalry, it says that to me again, there's going to be some conflict. We got to deal with that ego. The ego is going to be steadily talking to us and telling us things too as well. When we're saying about this jealousy, watch, especially in the divine masculine energies, people out in the world. I've been kind of sensing that a little bit too as well, that again, this thing about jealousy has been coming up as well. People seeing about it, like, putting their own 2 cents into it. That's why I say you've got to be able to have really a strong discernment now about, okay, I hear what you're saying. That's very nice. But again, I got to go almost back to that 50s dad. This is what the plan is. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to go about doing it. And that is it. We don't deviate from the plan. Okay. So that's what's going on with that. So some things that in the divine masculine energies here, as far as affirmations, I'm doing for time, is this. Love can hurt like hell. And then it says, remember my divine masculine cards, which I love, is breathe through that shit. So what it is that, again, feel the love, wanting to have the passion and that stuff. Again, it's going to have us to be able to, we're going to have to kind of just breathe through the pain, through the, again, like having a baby, the birthing pains that's happening with that, in order to be able to give way to this new beginning. Feel it and breathe through it. Okay. The divine masculine energy is saying here it is, want shit to be different, then change yourself first. Again, it goes within, so without. We want things to change on the outside. I talked about the world with the divine feminine energies. We've got to change ourselves, about how we're leading ourselves, how we're showing up in the world. Those things have to change. For the divine masculine energies, again, it says your boundaries are trash. Block those bad vibes. So we got to get into the point again that when we are doing these things out into the world, our leadership, we got to put up boundaries. That again, using the divine masculine, the male point of me, and the female point of me. The male point of me's got to put up boundaries with the job and tell him, hey, you know what, X, Y, and Z, I can't. He's got to put boundaries with himself. Stop accepting assignments and projects. Stop doing things of that nature that's adding up the time in which is less time left for him and I too got to put up boundaries there. Again, if it's emotional things or whatever, that the family thing aspect of it, I've got to find out to put boundaries up on there and say, hey, okay, maybe again, there's got to be some distance. There's got to be something else. So those are the things, again, in my divine masculine. I'm a female, he's a male. But again, in the divine masculine energies, this is what's showing up again, that we've got to put up boundaries. Just an example. Here we have here, family shit is getting on your nerves. Well, and it said, have each other's back. That goes back to, in order for that, again, the family, that aspect, if you look at the male things, some of them are in whatever kind of situation it is because of, again, clearing family, ancestral things, and we want to bring the scope much bigger than that. Living what our families tell us what to do as far as in our divine masculine energies. We're doing this because this is how the family, this is the brown way of doing something. This is the Booker way of doing things. And you know, it's ancestral. I'm taking on the baton instead of me dropping it and say, no, thank you. You can kind of keep that. I don't need to keep on passing on that bad habit on to the next thing of doing how we do things and how we manifest things in a world that I know no longer serves me. Then that's what I have to do. So again, that family stuff aspect goes in so many aspects and ways. So we have to remember, have each other's back. That to me, again, is have your own back. Spirit has your back. You have your back. Have, again, empathy, understanding, going back to that, what's going on with your divine masculine energies or your divine feminine energies, and understanding that, and have spiritually have their back. Send them love. You ain't got to go in there and do extra things like that. When you feeling and you say, okay, I'm kind of feeling a little something's going on with it, look like the pressure is on, send them love. That's another way of being able to have their back as well. The family message is definitely strong for me. For a while, I did a feng shui map of our house, and my room is in the family zone. Oh, wow, get out of here. So yes, so that is another thing. When we're talking about the connections, I'm getting there. Okay, wands. So how is this moon going to affect the twin flame connection? This came in reverse. It's the opposite. It went this. So it's going to really have us being able to, yes, these cards by McNasty cards are back for a time here, not limited. They're here. So here, it's going to help us to be able to have that flow. Anytime there's a swing there, there's going to be an even understanding of balancing within us to be able to swing between the divine masculine energies and the divine feminine energies. It does not just belong to just one person, but also having fun and having pleasure in the swinging and the reversals of the roles when they sway back and forth. The divine feminine energies is also going to be able to know how to be able to nurture herself. The divine masculine, she's in the lead here as well, and she's okay with it because she say, hey, even in the point of me being in this role, I'm still giving myself pleasure. I'm giving pleasure to you, you getting pleasure to me, and I'm nurturing myself in the process. Okay, so this is what this is saying here as far as what these energies are going to be, and he's enjoying himself, might I say. So here, the next thing here is also, again, him being able, he's nurturing her from the divine feminine, but he's also giving her pleasure. There is an evenness as to how these energies are flowing here as well. How can you be able that? You got to be empathetic. You got to be sympathy. He's sympathetic. He's got to be able to be empathic, to be able to feel what does turn her on. What does it need for me to do in order for me to get her off? You got to be empathetic about that. And that's what these energies from the moon is bringing us, the understanding that he is more catering to the divine feminine needs. That means within ourselves, the divine masculine energy is listening to me and saying, okay, I heard you. You saying, okay, being in this situation like this with these family, I'm just using an example and I'm not saying anything. These responsibilities of family is weighing you down. I hear you. Let's find a way in which we can be able to compromise, in which we are not so much putting ourselves out there for others and more for ourselves. Now, this is the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies within myself having this conversation so that I can feel like, hey, I'm being nurtured in the process. I'm feeling like my needs are being taken care of. And this is where we are getting within ourselves. And then outwardly, it's also expressing with the divine masculine, showing up more, less on the job, and more being present for in the relationship. You understand? This is where source, this is one of the ways they tell me. It's always some more ways that they want us, like April said, there's always several ways to get to the number 9. This is one of the ways that spirit wants us to understand how we talk about this, the evenness that's got to be at this balance that's got to be between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, not just always on the outside but on the inside as well. So we are destined for the following things when this is all over with, and the cycle about this full moon is over with. I think, what is that, in June? I don't know. I don't know when the ending is for that one. I know I didn't watch all the movies, all those videos, and it got on my nerves after a while. Which is freedom. We're going to be able to take off, okay? You see all these other birds, but see, it looks like it's taking its own path. Understand our own freedom through our own uniqueness and our own divinity, and understand us cutting our own path. We're going to start to be able to envelop it, resonate with it, align with it, understand it, and become one with it, to understand we're not meant to be flying with the rest of the other birds. Understanding that right now at the end, we're going to see some miracles happening throughout all of this stuff. The miracle might be at the end of the day is telling me that they're saying it's you. Okay. And the miracle, I see rainbows here, which would be union. Miracles are not something out there. Miracles are things in which, again, they're already aligned, but it seems like within you, some kind of way, you can't keep on getting yourself aligned to it. And in some kind of way, it's a breakthrough or opening that aligns you to it, but you are already destined for that very thing. So it's not really like a miracle, like, oh my God, I wasn't really worthy of it, and you just dropped on it. You was already doing it, but after a while, spirit just, I call it, does an override and just say, here, give it to them. They ain't moving all those things. I had already had this thing lined up for them, but they too caught up in the ego and the shadow and the not having it. And I'm just going ahead and go give it to them anyway. That's what a miracle is. But you are already lined up and destined for that. Okay. So understand what miracles are. Potential. Understand there's going to be some new potentials at the end of this that's going to erupt out of you, that's going to come out of you, that's going to be birthed out of you as well. When at the end of this cycle of this, that's going on with these retrogrades, and this, we talk about the moon, so stick on the subject, the moon cycle as well. Okay. And these new beginnings, I told you, that's why I said about pregnancy, whatever, maybe some of us, again, I did see that on somebody's talk about pregnancy. Now, if you wanted to, or you want to be, this is the time now that, because you're prepping yourself, getting yourself ready for it, this can happen as well. So some new beginnings, some new horizons is going to happen. The next thing that came out to me was the number. I asked this is my grandmother, and she's the one that I always say when I'm doing readings, she's with me doing the readings with her. My mom said she's watched several of them, and she's like, oh my God, I see when she jumps into you. So this is, I asked my time cards with her, and the thing she said was 9. Now 9, as we know, is the ending of a cycle. That's true too, but they're saying also as well as oh no, I'll take pregnant with ideas though. Well, you already have children. For those of us that do not have, maybe that may be what we're looking for in the cards, but okay, no pun intended. But my thing is that, again, the number 9. So number 9 here represents the ending cycles, but it also means, I see 444 right on the head, center and grounded there. Beautiful. It's 444 when I said that. Okay, so now the next thing is understanding that we have an ending of cycles. The cycle starts May 27th, and it's ending on 9, which would be June 9th. Okay, somewhere in between those two different times, those time periods that she brought to me, because I was like, well, I'm getting 27 though, because she didn't bring out the number 27, but that will be again May 27th to June 9th. That is a very strong, concentrated time in which these things can start happening. And I don't know, I think it might be, and I'm not too sure if this the end of it. Somebody will have to tell me, is that the end of the of this moon eclipse or this retrograde of one of these cycles. Somebody's ending with that. So June 9th means something. Any day of the 9. You can also say in 9 days, watch it. You could also say the 27th, May 27th, June 9th as well. 9 days. It can also be every 9 days. I'm picking up a lot of people, so I'm just saying I'm gonna throw a wide cast out there for you all as well. So keep that in mind about the 9. Okay. That's and it's different ways to get to the number 9, and that is we have to be open to that, as April said. I love that thing. All right then, so that is it. I didn't mean to be this long, but I guess this is it. So very much so. So I definitely know that's it, because I did my commitment is I do 2. I will do 2, and then you got the playground. So next time you see me is on, unless Spirit tells me about the playground experience and keep on pushing me about getting into the DM, but we'll see. If I would do that, that would be Thursday, and that might be before I do my podcast. Make sure that you go in to see the playground experience. We are moved to on our own channel. Now I'm going to the community thing, our own channel, which is the Playground Experience on YouTube. Make sure that you click subscribe to that so you can get notification when we are going live. We're going at 7:40 on Fridays. So that's what it's Central Time. So you'll catch us there. Remember to also, I have a podcast as well. The podcast is called Divinely Speaking Unplugged. Please make sure that you check that out. I got a new episode out there where I'm very bare talking about how out of heartache it created my empire, how I came about this channel because of heartache and things that had happened and it transpired. So go over there to my podcast. You can find me on Spotify. My favorites are Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. Also found on Amazon Music and also iPod, the Apple thing too as well. But those are the favorite ones that I like. I watch, I listen to those as well. So anywhere where there are, I am streaming podcasts. Check me out over there. Also, I work backwards. If you are interested in getting a past life regression session, wanted to know, go deeper into the shadow work, as we were talking about with Bass, we were talking about that. Sometimes some of those things, those shadow works, you have to get from other past lives too as well. So if you're interested in getting a past life regression session, or you want to get a MAT, some pain and some traumas is housed in your body, and you want to release that and you want to heal that, check me out at and get an MAT session, which is called the Metaphysical Anatomy Technique, and which you will be able to get that at www.AshantiWellnessCenter.com. I don't try to keep them all on the same thing with Divine Unisouls 11.co, because some people might not want the readings. They just like, I just want the healing stuff. So that's why I separated that, because I didn't want to have both energies interfere. And plus, I want to see the Shanti Wellness kind of go into another aspect and some other things like yoni steaming and other things like foot detox and things like that. I see that actually, I want to see that actually grow into an actual place where people can go. So I don't want that on the Divine Unisouls thing. So I'm just kind of sharing my birthing of my vision that I want to do. Next thing, also, if you want this kind of one-on-one things or more of an intimate setting, make sure that you go to www.patreon.com/Rays of Sunshine and be a part of that, because I have also things on there, or I might do the DM on them, and then I'll do the exclusive and I'll let it go. So I'll give them the DM things for them for the Patreon. So if you want to DM message about what the DM is doing, then go to the Patreon. That's what I do with them. They'll get the exclusive on that one. And Rays of Sunshine in the description below, I should have, if they're not on this one and another one, I'll put it in there. As far as what the tiers are and what you get for each tier that you join in as well. So that's good stuff. I'm not going to hold you all that long. If you want to just talk to me about something else, you can contact me on divineunisouls11 at gmail.com. Please make sure that you are always commenting below too as well. That helps with the algorithms as well with this channel so other people could find me. I think that you all don't want anybody to find me because I get no comments and down at the below. So I think you just want to keep Divine Sunshine to yourself, which is fine by me. If you don't want anybody else to find out about this good stuff, then that's fine. Okay, you can keep Divine Sunshine to your little old self. It doesn't matter. But again, if you want to help the collective and you want them to get another perspective, share, okay, and make comments so I can be spread throughout the whole thing of the YouTube world. Go to divineunisouls11.co if you're interested in getting a reading. Remember, the month of June, I will be doing GPS, finding your location and seeing what's going on with your person and within yourself. I got me one for my favorite reader that I usually contact. She helped me set me straight. And so, like I said, it's always good for you to go get the readings because the readings will help you to know where they are, where their heart space is, and then know what's the plan of action that you need to take afterwards. Okay, it's not for you to ooh and get all more into the drama. It's for you to have a plan of action after getting your reading. So I will have for 1717, I do a 3-card draw for you all, and always I give you extra because I'm talking just like I do now about in those readings, because I don't try to stop. If the spirit has an extra message in there, I go with whatever spirit tells me. So again, it's starting in June, 3-card draw about whatever it is to expect about your person, and seeing what's going on with them, so that can give you some encouragement and also know where you are as far as your journey about your connection. Okay, so you want to check that out in June. I have not put that up there, but if you want readings period until then and you don't want the special, I'm always available for you too as well. Have regular readings about the connection, if it's third party things, whatever like that. I have all those stuff over there. And remember to always click like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Hit the smash the notification button so you know when I will be going live. I'll be over here. I might be on IG, wherever between these two things I am, because like I said, YouTube is being lovely. They're getting a little better, but again, I want to make sure that my messages and content is getting out there, and YouTube is kind of limiting it being able to do that. That's why I had created my podcast, because it wasn't enough me getting out there. I felt like a horse that was running a race, and I'm trying to get to the front of the pack, and they kept on doing things to block me. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's called deuces. I'll go take myself someplace else. Okay, so hopefully you two people are listening, understand that. I'm not going to keep on going back and forth for you on that. Again, get my content out there like it should be. All right, then. As always, what's happening? Let me look at my Sunshine Lounge. Let me give my shout outs to people. Thank you. Yes. And don't forget the Doubling Down event, right? It's in 2 weeks. Yes. Thank you. That's happening on 6/6 as well. We got a lot of special guests coming in talking, and we're going to have the yoga workshops too as well, because it's always important that when you get information, you add some movement so it can move throughout your body through cellular stuff. Thank you, Mimi, for reminding me. Thank you. All right then. And so I forgot about that. That's the main thing, the main event. That's free. It's virtual. It's going to be on this channel. It's going to be here 2 p.m. Central. Be here or be square. So you can be able to get all that good information. Thank you. Hey, Kia. Yes, Kia's here in the house. Yes, Mimi's always in the house. Thank you. That's my lovely assistant over there. And then also, who else there? My Baz is over here. Who else came in there? Okay, is that it? Okay. Hey, Soul One. Adela Soul One. Hey, De La Soul is in the house. Hey, Santa Kelly. Hey. All right, then. I hope I shout out everybody. They coming in and coming out. Okay, thank you. Thanks so much. Are y'all great energy? I had a very nice time. That's right. Yeah, and support. Thank you so very much. Until next time, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste. Namago. Love you. All right, until next time, see you on the playground experience or in the Patreon Sunshine, as I give the exclusive to them about the divine masculine energies and what's going on. All right, then. See you next time.